What happens when the world's most powerful industrial war machine meets the deadliest warrior nation on the African continent? On paper, it shouldn't have been a contest. On one side, the British Empire, the superpower of the 19th century, armed with artillery, Gatling guns, and the legendary Martini-Henry rifle. On the other, the Zulu Kingdom, armed mostly with cowhide shields and iron spears. But on a blistering January morning in 1879, history didn't follow the script. The sun turned black during the solar eclipse, and the British Empire suffered one of the most shocking defeats in its entire history. This isn't just a war of guns versus spears. It's the story of arrogance, impossible bravery, and the bloody clash of two empires. This is the Anglo-Zulu War. To understand this war, you have to understand the players. In the red corner, Sir Bartle Frere, a British administrator with an ambition as big as the empire itself. He wanted to confederate South Africa under British rule. The only thing standing in his way? The independent Zulu Kingdom. In the other corner, King Cetshwayo, a smart, diplomatic and powerful ruler who had revived the legendary military tactics of his uncle, Shaka Zulu. He didn't want war, he actually admired the British, but Frere forced his hand. In December 1878, the British issued an impossible ultimatum: disband your army, give up your sovereignty. Cetshwayo refused. He had no choice. And so, on January 11, 1879, Lord Chelmsford led 3 British columns across the Buffalo River, invading Zululand. He expected a quick march, a simple police action. He was wrong. Lord Chelmsford made a fatal mistake. He split his forces. He took a large chunk of his army out hunting for the Zulus, leaving his camp at Isandlwana poorly defended. No trenches, no wagon fort, just redcoats relaxing in the sun. But the Zulus weren't hiding. 20,000 warriors, the main Zulu Impi, were waiting in silence just a few miles away. At noon on January 22nd, they rose up. Using their classic Horns of the Buffalo formation, they encircled the British camp. It was a slaughter. The British firing lines held for a while, but they couldn't stop the wave. The sky literally darkened as a partial solar eclipse hit right as the battle peaked. When the smoke cleared, over 1,300 British troops lay dead. It was the worst defeat a modern army had ever suffered against an indigenous force. The myth of British invincibility shattered. But while the smoke was still rising at Isandlwana, another battle was starting just a few miles away at a tiny supply depot called Rorke's Drift. Here, about 150 British soldiers, many of them sick or engineers, not frontline combat troops, were suddenly cut off. Heading straight for them were nearly 4,000 Zulu warriors who had missed the main battle and were hungry for glory. For 10 straight hours, through the night, wave after wave of Zulus attacked the tiny perimeter. The fighting was hand-to-hand, bayonet against spear. Against all odds, the defenders held. 17 British soldiers died. The Zulus lost hundreds before retreating at dawn. 11 Victoria Crosses were awarded for this one fight, the most for a single battle in British history. It was a PR miracle that saved British morale. But the war was far from over. London was furious. The defeat at Isandlwana was a political disaster. They sent massive reinforcements. Chelmsford, fighting for his reputation, invaded Zululand a second time. This time, he didn't make mistakes. By July 4th, the British army reached the Zulu royal capital of Ulundi. This time, when the Zulus attacked, Chelmsford formed a massive hollow square. 5,000 soldiers, cannons and Gatling guns facing outward. The Zulu bravery was unchanged, but technology had caught up. The warriors charged into a wall of lead. Not a single Zulu soldier got within 30 yards of the British line. The charge was broken, the capital was burned, the war was effectively over. King Cetshwayo was captured and exiled. Zululand was divided into 13 petty chiefdoms, intentionally designed by the British to cause civil war and destroy Zulu unity forever. The Anglo-Zulu War lasted only 6 months, but it remains a legend. It reminds us that technology doesn't always guarantee victory, and that the courage of people defending their home, whether with rifles or spears, is a force of nature. What do you think? Was Isandlwana the result of British arrogance or Zulu tactical genius? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more bite-sized history. I'll see you in the next era.